Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining us for this segment, we have Ethan Rosen, Associate Director at Predictit, the stock market for politics. We're going to take a look at traders are pricing in for the Wisconsin gubernatorial election and Arizona Senate. Ethan, it's great to see you as always. Welcome back to Trade Talks.
Thank you for having me.
All right, let's talk about the Wisconsin election first. Of course, the gubernatorial coming up, and it seems as if in other content that you and I have discussed, it comes back to extreme factions on both sides having a lot of sway in terms of the candidates.
Yeah, so part of why we keep discussing this is because this is a year where Democrats are defending a lot of incumbents. So we're actually not talking about a whole lot of Democratic primaries. On the Republican side, what we keep seeing is this question of, are Republicans nominating candidates who are too extreme to win, or at least whose positions are jeopardizing their chances in the general elections? So in Wisconsin, where we have a primary tomorrow, we have Tim Michels, who is a businessman. He's endorsed by Trump. And we have Rebecca Kleefisch, Lieutenant Governor, who is endorsed by a number of people, including former Vice President Pence. Kleefisch was definitely the favorite to win for some time. That was really until the Trump endorsement. Now, as you can see, she's disfavored by about a 2-to-1 odds. But it really gets you to the question of, is Tim Michels somebody who, won't even say that there's a right to contraception? Is he too extreme in a general election in a state that, as we've seen, tends to vote close to 50-50 Democrat-Republican?
And if we move along to Arizona here, what are the key things that you're watching in this race?
Yeah, so the primary for Arizona happened just last week. So the Democrats, as expected, renominated Mark Kelly, the former astronaut who is now United States Senator. Republicans nominated Blake Masters, former businessman who is now the Republican nominee. So after the nomination of Blake Masters, Democrats immediately started hitting him for his past comments on, his desire that indicated that he wants to cut Medicare, that he wants to cut Social Security, and that he wants abortion bans that don't include basic exceptions that even pro-life people tend to be more in favor of. So as you can see on the screen there, this is another race where Republicans were favored to win the general election. Over the last couple of months, that's trended in the other direction, with the particular inflection point being after the Dobbs decision. But then also after Masters won, there's a sense that he is too extreme. Now, on the other hand, Republicans are saying that Mark Kelly, the incumbent senator, he ran originally as an independent voice for Arizona, despite being a Democrat. He was going to buck the party, similar to the other Arizona Senator, Kyrsten Sinema. But that Kelly has instead been a reliable vote for Democrats. He voted for the Inflation Reduction Act, formerly known as Build Back Better, just yesterday without having raised a fuss in the way that Sinema did. So, that's really where the battle lines are being drawn.
So, Ethan, at the end of the day, how accurate are predicted traders in terms of where they're putting their money and what they think these outcomes are going to be?
Yeah, so we've seen that this far. There are studies on this that people can find if you go on, something like Google Scholar and you search Predictit. It's reasonably comparable to other forecasts, sometimes better, like 538's forecasts, like polling that you can find. The one thing I'd say is that this far out, sometimes, especially in primary elections, although I guess we're not talking about this far out for primary elections anymore, we're moving to the general, there are dynamics that don't necessarily take shape until the very end. I can tell you that in Arizona, for example, it would be very accurate to say that people expect it to be close, but predicted traders do have Democrats favored. That aligns with polling, that aligns with other expert forecasts right now, but it's going to be close.
All right. Thanks for the insight. We appreciate it. As always, thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.
Thank you for having me.